reminder of factor, 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 factor. There's a lot of factoring going on in this section. It's factoring, factoring, factoring. And when we're done with that, we're going to factor. What I want to remind you guys of is there's two things that. What's that? Yeah, a little bit tougher. Difference of cubes, sum of cubes. That's why I wrote them up on the board for you. And another thing I want to remind you guys of is the good old-fashioned quadratic formula. Now, let me ask you this real quick to remind you of what that does. What is that solving for when you use quadratic? Yes, sir? There's zeros. So if you come up with zeros, then you could rewrite it in terms if you had to, right? Okay. Excuse me. Plus, it's nice to use the quadratic formula because it helps you figure out the funky ones that you can't factor as cleanly as others, right? So here's what we're doing with all of this today. And if this is any inclination from earlier, this isn't going to be that difficult. We're doing a lot of simplifying, multiplying, and dividing today. Polynomials.
Sorry. Just say like,
No!
what did she say?
No!
Yes!
Stand up, raise your right arm, and repeat after me. Levante!
No.
Stand up.
All of us?
No, just all the knuckleheads. All of you, yes.
That is all of us.
I know. Any minute now, we're ready for you. Thanks. When you're right. Are you sure you're standing? Oh! See, that's what happens. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. Or I'm going to get kicked by Solomon.
Solomon's not. He already kicked me.
To never ever do this.
Oh, I do that too.
So help me, Pythagoras.
I guarantee you I will.
Don't do that. Guys, you cannot. I know I'm kind of. No.
That's like killing two
Guys, let me get through it, right? You can't do that. The only time you can simplify with these types of problems is when you wind up things when you're in terms. You have to factor everything up prior to canceling things out. Okay? You cannot simplify over addition or subtraction. It has to be all written in terms. You have to have everything in multiplication to make it work. So you wind up doing here is a whole bunch of factoring. Suggestion I'm going to make for you guys as you do these types of problems is as you're reading them, don't write down the original problem. You know you're going to have to factor it. So just start Just start factoring right away.
Just fart. Everything will be so much easier.
If you want to fart, please go outside in the hallway. It's kind of smelly in here anyway. So what times what's negative 12? Yeah. Somebody's a little too excited about this.
The second one is the difference between
I love two factor x plus 2
all over x plus 4.
Oh,
Shoot, I always do that.
Don't do that!
Is that
Sorry.
Is that a perfect square? No, I know it's a perfect square, but I was putting 4 instead of 2.
And then you drop them.
You mixed. Okay, so now because in multiplication you can drop
Now that you're in multiplication, you can do that. Because what's x plus 2 divided by x plus 2?
1! Oh my god.
No.
Jesus.
So you wind up with x minus 6 over x minus 2, which means it's not equal to 3.
Yay! It's equal to. Because you can't cross out
It's equal
x's.
to.
Can you simplify it?
Done.
Why can't you cross?
Wait, that's it?
The two x's, they would be the same thing, and just cancel each other out anyway.
No, it's x minus 6, x minus 2. They're not the same.
Okay, just saying like 10 minus 6 is not the same as 10 minus 2.
Good analogy. I like that. You can't simplify it out. You're done. All right? Same idea here. When you go to multiply these things through, you're going to do the same basic principle. You're always going to factor first, put everything in terms of, sorry, that was a bad pun there.
I love it.
And then just, no, it's all right. So as you start going through these things, as you're writing these things out, when I'm looking at the first numerator, the first rule of factoring is GCF. What's the GCF there?
4x.
4x. Okay, 1 minus x. Go over. X plus 3.
Wait.
X minus 1. Should what disappear?
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna say that the,
All right. On the other one, what times what is negative 6? You add together to get 1.
3 and negative 2.
X plus 3. X minus 2. And then on the bottom is just a 4x. This is multiplication, so you're multiplying straight across, so everything that's in the numerator is all together, everything in the denominator is all together. So now you can start simplifying out your terms. 4x goes away, x plus 3 goes away, and I'm left with 1 minus x, x minus 2.
When it's like that, it's just like one giant fraction, right? So like, even though the multiplication symbol's there, you can, so that's
Yep.
why you can do it.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. Now, am I done? What else can you do?
You can simplify, never mind.
Is 1 minus x the same as x minus 1?
No.
I think
No, it is not.
No, it is not.
How
But,
would you figure out?
what if I did this? What if I factored out a negative 1?
Right.
Negative 1 plus x, which is,
X minus.
now what can I do?
Oh, and then you do next.
So then you just end up with negative x plus 2.
So 2 minus.
All right. Do you have to distribute that out? No.
Wait. Did you take the negative one out of like that whole thing?
Took it out of that original term. What's happening here is,
Just like go through it, like.
I will.
Like write it out, like, go down. Like, what do you do to the X minus 2?
on this case here, when I'm looking at this, is everybody okay with factoring out the negative 1 to change the sign?
Wait, kind of.
So if I take out a negative 1,
Are you taking that out of all three things?
no, just that first term.
Oh.
The x minus 2 is still there, okay? Now, 1 plus x is the same thing as x minus 1. That's why I just rewrote it. So those just drop out. And you can leave it as negative 1 times the quantity x minus 2. Do not need to redistribute anything out. You don't have to refoil anything. You don't have to do any of that. Leave them in terms and be done.
How do you
Yeah.
get negative?
Your answer then would just be negative 1 times x minus 2. You're done. You don't have to redistribute. Please don't.
Why not?
There's no need. Because it's now in fully factored form,
Oh.
if you want to think of it that way. Yes, ma'am.
Would it be okay, like, up when you still had it in the blue,
Uh-huh.
if you just automatically switched it to negative x plus 1? Is that just easier for us? 'Cause
But you have to remember to bring out the negative 1.
well, no, but like 1 minus x is the same as negative x plus 1, right?
Yeah.
So you could just
Yeah,
switch
do it
it.
then. That's fine. Why are people yelling gold?
I thought they were howling at the
It always sounds like it's coming from up there and it drives me crazy because there's not a third floor.
Are you sure there isn't? There is.
There's like an attic.
It's called the roof.
The roof is on fire.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
We don't need any water.
No. No, this one? Oh God, what is that?
Oh, God.
Wait, what?
I
don't think I should sing this song.
It's a very inappropriate song.
Yeah.
Oh, is it by King's Leon?
No, it's Bloodhound Gang. Very close.
Because he knows who King's
Wait, what is it?
Fire, Water, Burn. It's the name of the song. It's called Fire, Water, Burn.
Can you sing it for me?
No.
Not if he
Mr.
wants
Murphy, are you going to do that dance competition?
No.
You have to.
Why? My face is already on a pie thing.
Wait, is
You're
it
gonna
yours?
get fired if you don't.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Kim fired you.
Mr. Kim.
Guess Mr. Kim has that
that.
Now, when you have stuff like this, we've done this before. It's multiplying and simplifying monomials out. Remember when we did this back in this? I don't remember what chapter. When you do these things, start with your numbers first and work your way through it. Yes, sir.
Why are we doing this like now? It doesn't seem
They mix them in with them. I just want to do a little review with the monomials. They put monomial stuff mixed in with the polynomials as you're multiplying stuff out. I'm just doing a reminder of how it works. Okay.
Are we gonna end up like graphing these and stuff?
No. No graph. So you have 30 over 20. What happens there?
I don't know.
Cancel.
I just write it as 3 over 2 and just continue on. Now, when I've done that, I'm going to go with my numerators, variables first. X squared and x cubed, what do you get? Good.
Hold on. It was 30 over 20 with 30 over 20.
It was 30 over 20, I just simplified it 3 over 2. Just did that right off the bat.
You see?
Y and y squared becomes,
Y
denominator is x, y to the 4th. And then when you go to simplify that to be done, 3 over 2 doesn't change. You have x to the 5th over x, so it becomes x to the 4th up top and y at the bottom. Good. Simplifying the monomial like that. You see these mixed in with the polynomials pretty often. Just kind of a little reminder of how these things work. Okay? Yeah, the worrisome face. Make sure you're all right.
Go back to that one.
So how long must you sing that song? The next verse.
Put it over 1.
Put it over 1, correct? Everybody agree on the first step here, you can put that second part over 1.
I was about to write it like that.
Hold on.
That's fine, good.
So,
Now, what I want you guys to see is going on here is that you have a fraction in the front where it's x plus 3 over 8x cubed minus 1. It's a difference in cubes. 8x cubed is a perfect cube.
Oh, you have to do that thing.
So remember that thing that's on the side of the board there that I wrote out, you wind up being able to factor this out. So you have x plus 3 over 2x minus 1, and then 4x squared, 2x, and a 1. Oh, would you look at that?
Oh, well, so nice to meet us.
Not really. Take it or leave it. Doesn't matter if I read it or not.
Hold on.
I just cross them off. They simplify out.
Oh, so then it's like,
So those two simplify out.
And then it's just, wait, would that be 3
X plus 3?
So it's just x plus 3 over 2x plus minus 1.
Yeah, yes, sir.
oh, wait, never mind. I was thinking that when you cross it out, it would be 0 over 1, but it's just 1 over 1.
This seems easier than it should be.
When you're simplifying these things out, remember you're simplifying out pairs of 1. That's really it. What's tough here is that you have to remember how to do some factoring. That's the worst part of all of this, is remembering to factor. Yes, sir?
Is there like any kind of rule you can use to know when we're done? Like, do we just go through all our factoring stuff and make sure we can't do anything?
Yeah, that's really all there is. You just keep going until you can't go anymore. There's no, it's not gonna like a red flag saying, say, you win. No, it doesn't happen. Yes, ma'am.
If we get any, like, if we have to like try the equation on review, I know what it is, I don't know, but if we ever get an imaginary number through that, what do we do?
I don't think that'll ever happen.
Just saying you do.
So what happens then when you have to divide?
Wait, well, we can just,
What's different?
Long division.
Long division. No, you don't want to do long division of long division here. Hey guys, remember, all you're doing is you're multiplying by the reciprocal. So when you go to write this down, if you're the type that writes down the problem, automatically write it as 5x over 3x minus 4. See what I did there? I factored it right away.
oh, nice. That way you don't have to.
Times,
X, X.
what times what is positive 8? You add together to get negative 6.
Negative 4.
Negative 4.
Meh.
That was a horse for a minute.
All I do is win.
And what do I do for the factor of it? That will do.
X parentheses x minus 2.
Al, you're not.
5 days off from you guys was not enough. So what do I do now?
You wait.
Oh, yeah.
X minus 1 is 12. That's over 3x.
5
So
So
I'm really not 3.
because then the X's cancel.
you can do that?
Oh, because it's both.
What happens here is everything's being multiplied. You have 5x over 3x,
I'm also glad about those.
Forgot about that.
and those drop out.
Dividing is oh. Change the sign. The fraction.
I got you.
Same change split. Remember guys, when you're doing these types of division problems, automatically rewrite it out as multiplication. Don't waste your time by writing it all out. Flip your fraction right away. It's also when you're writing these things out, if there's something that you can factor as you're doing it, as you're seeing it, just do it. Why waste your time rewriting these things out? 5/3. Yes, sir. Didn't you just know that was going to happen from looking at it? I mean, I did.
Wow.
Joke.
You really can't go yet.
It's just last time I did. You were the
On the stove. If I can watch you doing something like that,
Well, then
You don't know. Did you watch the video?
Hey, you want to see a funny video? I'm dressed up as a man.
yeah, that's funny video I was talking about.
We'll do that after all of this.
Will we really?
Sure.
It's so funny. I say two very inappropriate things.
Then I don't want to hear it. Do this one.
It's not like bad where it's just like it's something Mr. Solomon would think is funny.
So maybe like the.
Oh, this is-
What if 2 and 3? 2x squared. I'm thinking out. Okay, the x is 3 so the a and the 4.
That's right. I like these problems a lot. They're so why did you say they're very simple. It doesn't taste wait, how did you bad? Woo!
I love it when that's a skater. I hate it when it doesn't. Sorry, no, I love capitalization.
Okay? Yay!
Great time. Like,
we're gonna do it until we die.
no, wait, really?
I broadcast every single recipe.
No, wait, really? Because I play Steam.
We don't need 10.
Yes.
That's right.
Next year, going into 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Stop. I think it has something to do
X.
What most people will screw up in this problem is that you guys will go through the whole thing and just say the answer is 3x. Because you will have forgotten that there was something in the numerator. Yes, ma'am?
How'd you get the oh, because, okay, I get it.
That was a very easy conversation we just had. I'm glad to have been part of it.
But it's because it's x over x squared.
Wait, it's
X.
1 over 3x?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and a lot of times, when it comes down to this part, when things start simplifying out that fast, it's not a bad idea to rewrite 5x over 15x squared. So you know you'll have an x down here, and then that's 1/3. It's, most people forget that this becomes the 1. That's usually where you guys screw up. Well, that's true. Thank goodness of that.
We're not your
I don't want to go on.
Yeah. It's online.
5 over 15 is 1/3.
Wait, it's not like you never use this for
It's a pi fraction.
Wait,
Every other odd, you are a saint.
So how many problems?
No. What?
alright, whatever.
Did you forget that your hand was up? And it took you a second to realize if you looked at it.
Can we play our video now?
In a minute.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm so excited. You're not listening for the answer. You can't just assume it's going to be a yes.